Welcome back to Unfiltered with Pavel, sitting down today with our second episode. I'm sitting down with a friend of mine. He moved here from England. He lives in Philly now, kind of has that same grit, and I'm gonna let him tell his story. His story is all about motivating people and people that come from tough beginnings, whatever that tough beginning might be. So we're gonna sit down with Dan and we're gonna let you hear his story. Welcome. Let's start off simple.
Yeah.
Here we are in Philly. How did you end up from England? What part of England? Do you want to share that?
Yeah.
Did you end up here in Philadelphia?
Yeah, so I've spent the last 12 years hiring software engineers into the hedge funds, the financial services space, and I was in quite a bit of a bad spot in my life, at the point of before moving out here, and I got given a God-given opportunity to come and help build a business who were looking for somebody to set up a financial services desk. So yeah, it was interesting. So the guy that asked me to come out to Philly, when he asked me, I was like, why am I going to move to Philadelphia? But as time went on, it just seemed like the natural move. So yeah, it was a business opportunity basically. But I'd never been to the US.
That was the first time.
First ever time coming to the US.
Did you just take the job, or did you actually come to the interview?
I stumbled on it a little bit, and was just sort of debating whether I was gonna take it or not. And yeah, here I am, And first now #1 in the US for the company.
Wow.
And yeah, trying to achieve quite a few different things. At the moment, we're spinning a lot of plates at the moment. So yeah.
And and one door opens up an opportunity
100%
for other doors. So
100.
I was gonna save this question for the end, but I think it's a good question just to get going. So, and you can correct me with anything that I'm wrong. I know you've done a lot of ultra runs, you've done endurance, different training competition that obviously fuels you. I know you have a history of playing soccer, but you have a big run coming up.
Yeah.
And it's not a race, it's something that you're taking on your own. You're organizing it, you're putting in the work to organize it, and it's your event. And you are running from Philadelphia to New York City. We know that it's illegal to run on highways, so you have to take a long way there. If anyone's going to challenge on us, I know it's about 100 miles if you take the highway.
Well, the straight route is 85 miles. The straight route is 85, but because we can't go on the highways, we've added another 40 miles.
So 40 miles. So this run is going to be 125 miles. I know you're a big dog lover and an animal lover, and you're teaming up with ACT, the Philadelphia Animal Shelter, to raise money.
Yeah.
Just tell us about this. How did this idea come along, and what inspired you to do this?
Yeah, well, the honest truth is I don't know what in my right mind thought that this was ever a good idea personally, but no, I'm a huge dog lover, and I heard about ACT Philly and the work that they do. They take in roughly around 40 dogs a day in some cases. There's just a huge living crisis at the moment with people being able to look after their pets, and the work that they do is amazing. But it was always the dream for me when I come out to the US was to always get to New York, in the sense that live in New York at some point, build the business there. And I thought, if this can ever create some sort of attention, that this will certainly capture people's minds and hearts to help raise money for the charity. So Philly to New York it was, and yeah, I still don't know how I'm going to do it. Is the honest truth. The most I've ever ran it was 56 miles in 11 hours. So this is double and more. Yeah. But yeah, listen, we're made of good stuff, and the body's capable of doing some incredible things, and I'm sure with all the support that I've had and that I'm about to receive as well is going to help me get there.
No, that's awesome. It's challenging yourself is just such an important thing, and I know you. Anyone could go follow you on your Instagram and see your post about it. I know sometimes, and it's not real defeat, because you gain so much when you put yourself out there and you take on a challenge. If it's a marathon, I know you set big goals for yourself just recently in a marathon, and I know you were crushing the marathon. You PR'd, I know it's PR. That's a a personal record for a half marathon.
Yeah.
And I know the last couple miles didn't go as you wanted.
Yeah.
And that's, we were just talking here right before we started this, like we were arguing if it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago. It was only 1 week ago you're running right now. How do you find the motivation? I mean, in lining up one run to the next and just keep going, not taking breaks.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going here and within 3-4 weeks,
Yeah.
from a marathon to 125 miles.
Yeah. But the reality is, I've been in a lot worse situations in life, you know, and I use that as certainly fuel to push on to the next. Yeah, like we come from very humble beginnings, you know. We've not had anything handed on a plate to us from where we come from, and I genuinely think that we as human beings are capable of so much more that we don't even realize how much we're capable of. So in those moments of me going, oh, I don't really want to get up today and do this bit of training, or I don't want to run, or I just say to myself, look, you've been in a lot worse situations in life. So this stuff's easy compared to, you know, some of the stuff that I've put myself through, and, you know, I've put other people through ultimately. There's always a bigger goal, and there's always a bigger mission to this. It's not about just running or being an athlete. It's about setting a purpose, you know, and giving other people a bit of a motivational story to say that if I can do it, then they can do it too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I put it this way, we've been in a lot worse situations than getting up for a run or running a marathon, or yeah, because I basically choose this today. There's been certain situations I've been in life where, you know,
You don't choose the
I don't choose the pain. That pain has, you know, been inflicted on me, or I've inflicted that pain on other people. So, you know, I think we said this before, you know, when you and I have had a conversation, you know, I choose this today. And there's a difference in choosing that pain and choosing some of the tasks that I do and so forth. So it's, you know, I just count myself lucky, you know, that I'm able to do this. You know, I think sometimes we could get so caught up in the journey, and, you know, we think to ourselves, like, why are we doing this? But I'll just wake up every day with a heart full of gratitude and love, and, you know, the fact that I get to do this, you know. And yeah, it is painful at times. There's days that I can't move, or there's days that my legs just don't want to run. But, you know, it's in those moments that you count yourself lucky and, you know, grateful. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I mean, I know I could relate to that. You know, but there's many times you don't want to put the work in, but I'd rather put the work in and me choose to do the work than
Yeah,
the work choosing me.
100%.
So yeah. Now, everyone like calls himself they run for a different reason. What, you know, there's endurance athletes, there's marathoners, there's ultra runners, there's a combination of everything, and your purpose to inspire.
Yeah.
Why you're doing this. This whole your whole, if you want to say like who you are, what you're trying to achieve, you know, not just with this run, with everything.
Yeah.
Right? You get up and who you're trying to. If someone's on the other side of like a story, a social media post that's seeing this, can relate. What are you trying? What message are you trying to send them? Just
that it gets better, man. That it gets better with time, and certainly with faith. You know, I was, before coming out to the US, not a lot of people know this, but I was genuinely on my knees. Like, I lost everything, you know. I lost a lot of relationships. I lost a hell of a lot of money, financial side of things. You know, I, in a way, sort of lost my sanity a little bit. But with faith and hard work and, you know, doing these type of things, that, you know, it can come back. And it can come back even more, but yeah, it takes work, you know. It definitely takes work, and it's important that, you know, through my message, that if I can do it, then certainly anyone else can do it. You know, you know, I'm nothing special. Put it that way. It just, you know, I get up every morning, I try my hardest. And yeah, I just, you know, I think I've got a relationship with God. You know, I know everyone's not got that same similar story, but you know, I owe it all to a higher power. People call it a higher power, I call it God. And that's my journey, you know, that's my story. So, yeah, just to let people know that, you know, if I can do it, then they can certainly do it too. But it takes work, you know. It's not just going to be handed on a plate. You got to want to change.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get fed up of being fed up.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately where I come to, because I knew I was. There's a lot of people that can turn around and say, "Oh no, I'm a good person," you know. But we've done a lot of shitty things in life, you know. And are you really a good person to keep doing those things? But I think there was something deep down that I knew inside of me that was a good person. You know, I had something to offer. It wasn't all bad. So it just took that change in that moment, you know, to say, look, I've had enough now. And, you know, I want to be better. You know, I want to do better for the people around me, not just for myself, but for my family and for my friends, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a real believer. I believe everyone was born clean and a good person, you know, and just they're a person, you're born from God and you're born clean, and it's easy to lose ourselves. And sometimes you get lost at birth, right? You don't get the right upbringing. Your parents might be in a tough situation, or whoever's raising you. But eventually, the smoke clears and you have an opportunity. People now are probably watching this, and they're seeing, hey, here's a good-looking guy, cleaned up, he's running, marathon, he's sponsored, you know, but this is not the way it always was.
Of course, no, it really wasn't.
There was, like you said, dark days.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I'm not asking you to open up about the dark days, or you have to open up the dark days, but the message to someone, like you said, it's the work needs to be, no one's going to do the work for you.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
You got to put the work in. And that's not just running.
No,
it's showing up, if it's praying, if it's doing well, if it's giving back. And I'm a true believer, and if you do good, you get good.
For sure, 100%. Yeah, and just to go on what you said there, was, you know, we from where I come from in East London, you know, there was an opportunity, you know, there were people doing the wrong things, they're celebrated, you know, they're the ones that are getting you know, they're the ones that people look up to, you know, so we was always surrounded by people doing wrong things, and, you know, you become you become a product of your environment, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely live a life of the Jekyll and Hyde scenario, right? Of, you know, living two separate lives.
Yeah.
And yeah, it become apparent that doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No.
Because, as I said before I come out here, I lost everything, so it was never really mine. You know, I broke relationships that, you know, I look back now and really regret. So yeah, it was there was dark days, real dark days. Days of not wanting to be here anymore, you know, because I just kept messing up, just really kept messing up, and yeah, just knew that I just wanted to be better and do better, man.
And a lighter note right now is so from South London?
East London.
East London. Yeah, so who do you support? Who's your team?
So the Mighty Hammers. So I'm West Ham through and through. Yeah.
But I know there's a story that you were kind of an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
You know, and for whoever's watching this, we are in Philly. We are in Philly. Someone's chanting "Go Birds."
Go Birds.
I have a Calvin jersey on.
Yeah.
Now it is made by Mitchell and Ness.
Okay.
Mitchell and Ness is a Philadelphia company.
Yeah.
That's where I get a lot of my jerseys. Now I wore this because I mean Megatron. I mean he's a legend. You know, he's one of the best receivers to ever play a game.
Yep.
You know, I thought it was a perfect jersey to wear for this interview. You know, you got legend things you're trying to do.
For sure.
125 miles. But anyway, so your team is who's you?
The Eagles.
The Eagles are your football team. And,
Yeah.
In London.
West Ham.
West Ham. Okay.
So we're the underdogs. We're not doing too great at the moment. I'm going to be honest with you. We're not doing too great. But listen, the underdogs, you know, you got to support your team through the bad times and through the good times.
Not that long ago, the Philly had the underdog mentality.
Yeah, for sure.
Them against the world.
For sure, man. And but listen, your team's your team. We don't do glory hunters or, you know, you support them from start to finish.
So I know this is conversations we've had privately.
Yeah.
And I know you've been open about sobriety,
For sure.
the wins, the losses, the good, the struggles with it. What's your mission with that, or what's your, you know, goal with that?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, not your goal. I know what the goal is. But for people out there listening,
Yeah.
you know.
So, well, sobriety taught me a hell of a lot about who I was and ultimately what I would probably suffered with, you know. My journey hasn't been plain sailing when it comes to sobriety and so forth. It's been a bit of a difficult journey. You know, I come from a family of big drinkers. You know, a lot of my friends, you know, are big drinkers ultimately. But yeah, it caused a lot of carnage in my life, alcohol and drugs really to a certain extent. And if it wasn't for sobriety, I probably wouldn't sort of be here today ultimately, you know, and understanding, you know, that there's a life beyond my wildest dreams from not drinking. But it's not been an easy journey, Paul, to say the least. You know, it's been up and down. There have been times where, you know, you think that you can just have a drink and be normal. But I was drinking really to forget. You know, I had a bit of a troubled upbringing with a certain situation. And it just allowed me to escape, you know, the own thoughts in my head. So yeah, it's an interesting one because without those stints of sobriety, you know, I wouldn't be who I am today. Yeah. I wouldn't be running like I do. I wouldn't understand the importance of fitness. I wouldn't understand the importance of living a healthy lifestyle. Sobriety got me closer to God. And it just allowed me to be a better version. But it also allowed me to take a rain check on myself, you know. Yeah. And allowed me to really understand who I was. And, you know, basically what I probably suffered with for a long, long time. And it was always, you know, I suffered with a me problem, you know, and being sober and having those stints of sobriety allowed me to realise, you know, what I really suffered with, to say the least. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of my friends are sober. A lot of my friends are in sobriety and recovery. You know, I also went through stints of recovery myself. But yeah, ultimately it was the sole thing that got me closer to God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and even if for people out there who struggle, and I say, you know, I have a little bit of time on my hands right now, but, you know, I know a lot of people who, they get sober and they have little bumps along the way and they get really discouraged when they do. But it's like, every time you get a little bit of time under your belt of being sober, it gives you an opportunity to see what life is really like.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and it just encourages to get back to it, you know, so. Yeah, no, that's,
Yeah, listen, I think for some people, you know, they can drink responsibly, you know, they can still achieve all that they want in life by still being, you know, having a good time, whether they see it as a good time. The thing with drink, it really takes the edge off your emotions, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. In that moment in time, you think, oh, this stuff that's weighing on me is pretty heavy, right? So sometimes it just takes the edge off and allows you to just forget for a little bit in that moment.
It makes you feel comfortable when you're uncomfortable.
It does, yeah. Well, it's just that whole escapism, right? Yeah. And I think that's why, like, I wouldn't actually class myself as a runner. I'm not a runner, you know why? Because I use running to escape. Yeah. I use it as my form of meditation. So yeah, it's an interesting one to say the least, especially with alcohol, because, you know, I think for me the ultimate goal is to be sober forever. And when that time comes, you know, I think you've got to be really comfortable with saying that you're not going to have a drink ever again. So we'll get there for sure.
It's like wild. It's like I say, like, dude, like I definitely think I would be the same person. I don't think I'd be the same person since always. So like sometimes I'm like, oh, but I wanted to end up differently.
Yeah.
The farther I get away from like my darkest days, the farther I get away from, I'm like, why would I change it? Like
the more you appreciate it, the more appreciate
like,
it.
If I didn't lose all the money, I lost a lot of money too. If I didn't lose all that money then I eventually I would lose it, or maybe I wouldn't be so motivated to make more money, to like have bigger goals in life, because my goals have gotten bigger, and maybe I would never find that motivation to have bigger goals if I didn't.
If it was always going right.
Yeah.
If it always went right.
No.
How do you aspire for more?
Yeah, exactly. You don't. You got to get your ass kicked.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
To wanting to finally start kicking ass.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Cool.
That's pretty powerful.
There we go. See, you got something out of that. But, all right, someone is watching this.
Yeah.
And they're struggling with, it could be addiction, it could be faith, it could be in the middle of training for a marathon and struggling. Whatever they're struggling with in life, what do you want them to get out of this to see that they're to get on the right path?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't actually have the answer for that, and I feel like all of our journeys they're accustomed to us and our backgrounds, right? So if I can just help, just give somebody a bit of faith, a bit of hope, a bit of inspiration, because if I can do it, and where I've come from, like the depths, pretty much the depths of hell, like just no longer wanting to be here. And to be out here in the States, meeting new people, being pretty successful at work, that it does get better with time, but I just want everyone to know that it does take work. It's not gonna land on your lap. You got to want to go out and get it. You have to. So yeah, if I could just help inspire, motivate people to just start putting in some work into their health. Because without our health, we have nothing.
Nothing.
You could have all the money in the world, you could have all the materialistic things. If you ain't healthy, you've got nothing. So that has to be number one. Put your health first, put the work in, and just have some faith, that it can get better. Because it does get better.
Yeah.
But it does take time. It's just not going to happen straight away.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest message:
Yeah.
is put the work in, have faith, have patience, and it will ultimately come together.
Yep. I say this all the time. It's I think you first need to have your higher power is God.
Yeah.
And you need to have a higher power and a purpose is probably the most important. Second, I think you need your health. You need to start feeling good about yourself. Physically, mentally, and all this, to start even thinking about the bigger things in life, the job, everything else, finding someone to live life together. I think that's the most important thing. But going back to what you said, it takes time. And I use this all the time. If someone told you, hey, we're going to build this house, and it's going to only take us 1 month to build this house, or another builder tells you, I'm going to build this perfect house, it's going to take me 8 months.
Yeah.
You're going to build a sturdy house. So you take time to build this foundation.
The foundation.
That's strong. It will never get torn down.
Yeah.
You build it quickly for quick success, it can be taken down quickly.
100%. And I just think that without that time, you're not going to be ready for the opportunities that are about to come your way, right? And what I mean by that is that in order to be the person that experiences success or, experiences running an ultra marathon, that's built on a foundation of lots of small wins. Because if you just build that on one big win, you're going to come down as quick as you went up.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it takes time. The small wins are incremental to the success, right? To the big win.
So I asked the question, a message to give someone that's looking to find themselves on path. But here's an opportunity for you to say one message you want to deliver.
Yeah.
For anyone.
Yeah. Just embrace the journey, man. I just think life is so short. We only get one time on this earth. So surround your people by people who are going to love you, embrace you, support you. You know, we're capable of doing some incredible stuff as human beings, but we can't do it alone, firstly. So you need a support system, but just embrace the journey, man. You know, just have some fun. You know, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. And yeah, just have some fun with it, man.
And one thing that you said there, and I think it's so important, is you don't have to do it by yourself.
No way.
And
you don't.
A lot of times people feel that there's so many support groups and different groups and sobriety groups and run clubs and anything you need, there's resources out there.
For sure. And I think it all just boils down to love, right? We're all craving love of some sort. So, yeah, just love others as you want to be loved yourself, and just put a good message out there, a positive message. Yeah, just go kill it, man.
Erica's going to be flying down to New York.
100%.
Oh, I might have to do one more before then.
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Hearing your story and everything.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, and we'll give everyone an update on how he did. And then one last quick thing here. Do you want to share your Instagram, anything where people can donate if they want to donate
so it's
to support your run?
___ Nichols. The link's in the bio.
And we'll make sure to put everything up on the story here if anyone wants to donate for a great cause and support Dan and support Philly, support dogs, animals, cats. It's a great cause. And
Thank you, bro.
No, he's putting in the work.
Let's go.
Every day.
Go Birds.
Go Lions.
AOF, you did it again?